Title is the official vehicle ownership document in the United States. If you're an international visitor to the US and planning to buy a vehicle, this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through a US vehicle title so you understand exactly what to expect. This is the title for a 2023 Honda motorcycle. The first thing to notice is that this is not a US title, it is a California title. Vehicle ownership is handled by the US states, not the federal government. Each US state has its own form of title, and each US state accepts every other state's title documents. Even though this is a California title document, each of the document's features that I've described in this video are valid for titles issued by all US states. Let's look at the text on the side of this document. Void without bare watermark, hold to light to view. So if we hold this up here, you can see that there is a bare watermark here, and there's additional anti-counterfeiting features here. The important thing to note is that authentic documents are required. Copies, scans, and images of title documents are not valid. Only the authentic title document is valid for ownership transfer. Next, let's look at the vehicle ownership interest release. You can see here, I certify that the signature below releases interest in the vehicle. This means that when the owner of the vehicle signs on line 1A, he or she releases his or her ownership interest in the vehicle. And it's the buyer's responsibility to assume that ownership interest in the vehicle by registering the vehicle in his or her own state. We'll talk about the registration process in a future video, but basically it involves submitting this title to the registration authorities. Next, we've got the odometer disclosure. State and federal law require that buyers and sellers of vehicles model year 2011 and newer must attest to the vehicle's current odometer reading. Vehicles 2010 and older are exempt from this requirement. So if a vehicle is 2011 and newer, the buyer and the seller have to sign this statement on the vehicle's title. A quick note here, this says that the printed name of the seller is required. When a title asks for a printed name, it doesn't mean that it needs to be written on a typewriter or printed in a printer. Printed in this context just means the opposite of a signature. Next, we've got the lien holder section. A loan against a vehicle is called a lien. If a vehicle has a lien on it or a loan against it, the lien will be recorded here. And in order for the vehicle to be sold or transferred, the lien holder has to sign off on the lien. If the lien holder section is empty, that means there are no liens against the vehicle and the lien holder signature is not required. Very important text here, void if altered. Write-overs, cross-outs, and whiteouts can at worst void a vehicle's title, requiring a replacement to be issued, or at best require additional documents to address the error that was made. So when you're writing on a vehicle's title, take extra care to avoid any mistakes. Finally, titles don't expire and they don't need to be renewed. A registration, which is a separate document that we'll cover in another video, that document does have to be renewed every year. But titles are the official ownership document of a vehicle, and your ownership of a vehicle does not expire. So this has been a brief overview of vehicle titles in the US. If you found this video helpful or have questions about vehicle titles that I didn't cover, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about vehicle ownership for international visitors to the United States, click the subscribe button and be the first to know when I release a new video. Thanks for watching.